everyone, I'm Samarth Srivastava, NTI Smart Soft Skills Trainer, and I have come to my first travel convention and also my first ITB conference. So, welcome to ITB 2025. I may be sounding a little bit weird because this is the first time that I'm doing such thing, vlogging a live tour, which is also being live streamed right now. So, ITB India is a convention by, I forgot who is it organized by, maybe ITB, I'm not really sure. Mess Berlin has something to do with it. And this is currently being held in Geo World Convention Center in Mumbai. So let me show you around a little bit. Here many pavilions are there, many stalls are there from different businesses from different countries. So this is where you enter. This is where you get your passes. This is the second day, by the way. I came here for the first time yesterday. Took my badge from here. Took my neck band from here, and yes, this is where you enter. Here is my badge, as you can see, from honor. And let's now take a tour around. In the first row there are stalls by Indonesia. This Madhya Pradesh, the state I belong to. I also started networking from that stall only because yesterday when I first walked in here I was feeling very nervous. I didn't know how do I walk up to people, how do I network with them. So I just went there, tried to talk to someone, and they were from my home city, Indore only. So that went pretty great, and after that I was very comfortable talking to people, talking to other people. Since then I have gotten many cards. I also have attended one conference today, a multi-guest speech, what I'm saying, speech. I had live streamed it just a few moments ago, so that went really great. Now, let's take a walk around here and maybe we'll ask some businesses about how their day is going. Okay. Hey Nico, how are you doing today?
Hello, hi, good to see you.
I'm streaming live today, so say hello.
Hi, hello, my name is Nico, I come from Helsinki, Finland.
Helsinki, Finland, right? So how's your day going?
Oh, it's been fantastic, the show has been very busy here, and we have our booth over here on this other side, yeah.
Okay, so you can tell about your booth as well, and maybe you can later cut this part from the video and share it on your channels.
Alright.
So please tell us about your work, your business.
Right. So this is our Visit Northern Finland stand here in ITB India, and we have here 4 fantastic companies joining us. Visit Oulu, G Travels, a incoming agency, and then also Kakslautinen Eco Resort, and also Aurora Collection Resort Hotel Stay. So we welcome you to join here our show.
Okay, interesting, very interesting. So these are people here sharing information about Finland.
Nice. Sorry.
So Miko, what would you, if any viewer watches this in any time in future, what would the view like them to know about Finland and Helsinki?
So for this one, let's have my colleague Ute Kivisaari. Let's have him.
Sorry about this.
Okay. I will ask him.
Amazingly difficult to do it from the screen of the phone. Yeah. Perfect. Excellent. You're most welcome. Thank you very much. Likewise.
Hey, Hi, I'm Samarpit, and currently I'm on a live stream. So say hello to the live stream.
Hello, hello.
You can always go to the video, cut back your part, and share it on your channels as well.
Okay.
So tell us about your business and what would you like anyone watching this video want to know about your country, your business.
Can I see the live stream as well?
Yes,
So I
yes,
say
why
hello?
not? So this is the live stream going on. You cannot see yourself. You'll
Yeah.
have to talk to the camera just like this.
Can you come back to me in a moment? I will be
Okay,
happy
I'll
to
come
tell
back.
you more.
Okay, I'll come back. My name is Samarpit. What's your name?
Whitey.
Sorry?
Whitey.
Whitey.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I'll see you Whitey in a moment. Bye bye.
To get anywhere in Russell Memo doesn't make you more productive. How many of you will be stuck in traffic when you're on holiday? And how many of you will be frustrated about it? Show of hands, anyone? Lower?
So a panel
I
is
guess you aren't going on enough
right here
holidays to
as
the
well.
right
Let's
destinations
join
there.
this.
But look, with Russell Kema, what's happened is effectively we've invested in the infrastructure first, and then we've had hotel development come in. We're looking at tripling our numbers into the destination by 2030. At the moment, we're a destination that does about 1.2 million people a year visitors. We're looking to make that 3.5 million by 2030. And like I mentioned earlier, we've got a hotel pipeline which is basically doubling in the next 3 years. So that's what's going to support the growth. I think, and this is the current pipeline. There are other hotels that are, having conversations. There is direct connectivity that we're looking at with airlines across the tier 2, tier 3 cities as well in India, whether it's Indigo, Air Arabia or India Express, who already have connectivity into Ras Al Khaimah. And I think we're only going to see that grow because there is a new terminal that's being developed in Ras Al Khaimah to be able to welcome this change. So, we're seeing that happening. I think 75% of our rooms are in the 4 and 5-star category, and they offer value for money. Like I mentioned, you can opt for a bed and breakfast, you can opt for half board, you can opt for all meals, or all inclusive, whatever you want in terms of the client preference being whether they're going with a family, whether it's a honeymoon couple or wedding celebration or whatever you're looking at. So there's a lot of growth that you're going to keep seeing. You're going to see in Ras Al Khaimah, and if there's of course anything that we can do to support, please do reach out, and we'll be happy to.
Interestingly, he's saying so much of minuscule understanding of the market. Like, doesn't matter half board or depends upon your clientele. Very interesting, very interesting. Christian, your story, I know when we started, Sheetal speaks about it, France does speak about it, but responsible and sustainable tourism, and you said this is what I really want to tell the world. It's in your mandate, it's your basic philosophy. What's your final take, the message you want to give for Switzerland to our beautiful audience?
So basically, Switzerland is a 365 days destination. Maybe also explore Switzerland, for example, in autumn time, in winter time. There is much more to see. There are like experiences which you never experienced before, maybe in other destination. Be it maybe skiing, of course you can try it, but as well snowshoe hiking, sledging, or even just come for Christmas market. I think just really consult your clients as well. Whenever they want to travel, it's always time for Switzerland, definitely. And then visit all the mountains, visit the smaller cities as well, and really immerse yourself into the local experience experience we have in Switzerland. And I think that's the way we want to go forward with all of you. And of course, we're coming up with new products, with new experiences, and we will share it with you. And yeah, thanks a lot.
Wonderful. Wow. I've learned so much. Thank you. Three of you, it's like information overload up here, but it's been fabulous. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you all enjoyed it. Wasn't it a lot of food for thought? From food to cuisine to culture to art to the mountains to the sand dunes and to the waves. So let's wave in the questions to the audience now. I've got a good 7 minutes. I'm open for 3 questions. Please, Burgess Mehta, the president of SCOL, Bombay 144.
Hi, my question is to Sheetal and Christian. First and foremost, let me congratulate both of you all for showing stupendous growth in 2024 and 25 in terms of numbers, in terms of revenue, everything. But on the other side, you have this problem of over-tourism. Yeah? Your locals are not very happy that so many tourists are coming. You know, usually there are places where there are 75,000 locals and there are more than 3-4 lakh tourists. So they are very worried about their natural resources being eroded. So what is it that as tourism boards,
If it comes to Switzerland, all over the year our hotel occupancy is 50%. So that means, I've mentioned before as well, Switzerland is a 365 days destination. So really, we want to steer our guests to come throughout the whole year and to steer away from maybe bigger places where there are maybe a little bit more crowd than in other smaller places, and you always find a hotel room. But maybe you go out of a city and you stay in a Swiss village. Why not experience it like this? So this is really our take, that we really can steer our guests and showcase Switzerland as well on a different way and in a different season.
Yeah, beautiful. Burgess, he's talking about diversification and not overcrowding. Shida.
So on a very similar vein, I think in France, we're of course completely aware, cognizant of the. It's really a global issue. It's not restricted to us, and if I may say so, I don't think we've seen any protests in our countries against tourism at the moment. That does not exist. We have a lot of strikes, and we're known for protests in France, but not this one. I think we're trying to strike a balance between economic sustainability and environment sustainability. It's something that we're aware of, and something that we want to work towards. So one of the things which is natural is, like I said, we're working towards a value proposition. This also has clearly got a vision of sustainability at the back of its, philosophy, simply because we want to diversify source markets from India, of course, but also from the rest of the world, and in turn also diversify seasonality, enhance the length of stay, ensure that we have a footprint that goes across the country, and which is why we want to seek audiences that would have appeal for those places, which may not necessarily be the standard bucket list items, but things that would appeal to a second time, third time discerning traveler looking for experiences. So it's a marketing strategy that has been launched and which will of course take its time to mature. But this is a true, I would say, volition on our part with a vision of 2030 in mind to get to that. And so the idea is to showcase places that are hidden gems, unexplored, places that people would love to see. And one of the mandates that I didn't talk about that Alto France has is also what we call ingénierie, wherein we actually accompany stakeholders, be it institutional, regional tourism boards or hotel chains, to create infrastructure. So like Vishal rightly said, we firstly need to be ready for it. We need to have the infra to be able to then, accept and to be able to more than. So I think as France, we intend to do this sustainably and successfully.
Beautiful. Burgess, you're convinced. Yes. No, because both of them, I think, for Sheeta. No.
Not in France yet. We're not discussing over tourism. We're discussing We're discussing rationalizing, for example, yes, when Notre Dame reopened, there was definitely a quota that had to be respected per day. I know that a lot of people, because I mean, we don't want to just, you know, sort of shy away from challenges. They are part and parcel of the, you know, of this journey. Yes, we do have people tell us that we don't find easily tickets to the Eiffel Tower. We need to plan that because it has, of course, got a capacity per day, for example. And we want to make sure that people have a pleasant experience. You don't want overcrowding up there, like he said, because then we'll start having traffic jams in the escalators and in the elevators. We don't want that. So, you know, so things like that. So it's part of sort of ensuring that we're tweaking and working very closely with the industry on that side to ensure that we are fine-tuned with the offering on the one hand, and then on the other hand, working very closely with the travel trade here. I'll give you a very, very tangible example. We had our colleague from Luberon in Provence who was here earlier this year to talk to, you know, a few stakeholders in the Indian travel industry, and he told them, please do not send people in July and August. Why? Because it's overcrowded. They're not going to have a good time. Send them at other times of the year, and it's not because we want to fill rooms at times when we don't have them, but because our responsibility as tourism stakeholders is to ensure that guests come and have a good time no matter what time of the year they come. And to be honest, like Christian said, Europe is actually an all-year-round destination. People can come any time of the year, and you may not have lavender, but you'll have, you know, something else to look forward to. So I think that's really the strategy, to make sure that we're diversifying the pool and ensuring that at all times, you know, we have people there, but just enough that can be sustained and well looked after. That's really the plan.
Beautiful. Room for one more question, just in case. If not, there's somebody who, the wealth of knowledge is here on stage with their destinations and beyond. If you have a question, then we are ready for it. If not, we are exactly at 3:33, if I'm not mistaken. And Ms. Chu, are you okay with my timing? Glad. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Sheetal. Thank you, Vishal, and thank you, Christian. I had a great time. I hope you did. And audience, do they deserve a round of applause? Please. And I think they've given us enough for us to digest and for tour operators to work on. I, Rima Lokesh from Remarkable, say thank you. Thank you for this beautiful stage, and thank you for being so engaging. Thank you.
Okay, so I joined.
Thank you so much, distinguished panelists, for those vulnerable insights. Ladies and gentlemen, now let us welcome Nikhil Sharma to the stage to talk about the big drivers, weddings, and MICE as a growth engines for hospitality.
Yeah, I'm not sure what to do now. Maybe I'll start another live stream after a few minutes and then use it.
Please welcome Mr. Nikhil Sharma on stage.
Okay, no. So we have another panel or maybe a single speaker. No, we only have a single speaker right now. Radisson Hotel Group.
Yeah, we're sure. Fairly sure. Thank you. Hopefully you can hear us. We're a country of 1.4 billion people that still believes in getting married. And that's really what MICE in this country is all about. Very quickly, we'll take you through some numbers, if that's okay. Key trends that we see from... Yeah, perfect. And these are just pure estimates. What does it do to a country where currently unemployment is under 20%? It creates 5 million jobs. It is seasonal, but that's a lot of jobs in a country of our size. And of course, spend breakdown. What is interesting to see, an average wedding in this country costs 30 lakh rupees. And if you see what the breakdown is, and there's a slide later as well on that, you will see 40% is actually less than anything else, and that is where the spend is. So, like I said, it's growing at 14.3% CAGR, so you are looking at an industry, and this is not MICE, this is just weddings, becoming more than $200 billion in this country alone, right? And this is only domestic weddings. We're not even looking at the weddings that Indians are doing globally or going out for destination weddings. So I have to do a plug-in here at Radisson Hotel Group. We are actually making sure our hotels globally, which is 1500 hotels globally, get ready to welcome Indians for destination wedding, and we have Welcome India package because to explain to the West or even in some parts of East of the world what a campfire is, because for them the Saat Feras is a campfire and you have to explain the significance to them. Those are the small to-dos that we actually end up doing in a global company and educating the Indian heritage and the Indian values to the global audience. So I spoke about jobs. We have to speak about tourism, which is destination weddings. You see that within the country, you see that globally, and of course, that's something that's growing. Retail, apparel, jewelry, you see all major brands, and you see actually more and more large organizations in this country getting into jewelry, and that is going to continue to grow. On hospitality front, if you look at classified hotels, we are at 185,000, hitting 200,000 rooms, less than Singapore, less than about 40,000 more rooms than Dubai. But that's where we are, and of course you're seeing more growth in tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 cities, and also more destinations. So for example, we have a beautiful hotel in Karjat, right, in Maharashtra, or we have a hotel in Saputara, and I thought Saputara was in Gujarat, but it's actually in Maharashtra, on the banks of Maharashtra. But great destination wedding hotel from that perspective, and really caters to that. Logistics, of course, because of the transports and event companies, huge logistics piece, and today there is no conversation without AI or virtual, so a lot of virtual reality is being built into our weddings, and it's just state of the art what's happening. Really, again, visually, just to show you that 40% is going into venue and catering, 15% into decor and entertainment. So if you look at those two, it is almost 55% that is being spent on just two items. Photography, videography, invitations, miscellaneous, and attire and jewelry 20%. Of course, entertainment is a big piece of every wedding today, and you see Bollywood, Tollywood, and all stars coming in. So that, of course, comes in decor and entertainment. So what is the MICE opportunity for that? Amit, why don't you take over on MICE?
Thank you, Nikhil. I think MICE is an extremely important piece. Of course, we are treating here in this case for the presentation wedding separately in MICE, which in itself is close to about 9 lakh crore for India, about 110 billion, growing at a pace of CAGR of 5.2%. MICE is, as we know, is extremely important from the point of view of really filling your base occupancy, driving the ADRs of the hotel, and really optimizing your RGIs. In addition to the MICE, what we see is that a lot of people, including ourselves when we are traveling, we are clubbing our MICE with pleasure. We are extending our stay. We want to experience the destination, experience the locale, and hence, this is a trend that we have seen particularly since pandemic really growing. Drivers of the growth, broadly speaking, of course, we are right now in the Geo Convention Center. I think some real great infrastructure development has happened over the last few years, including the place where we are standing, Geo Convention Center. We opened and are moving. A lot of international and national conventions are being generated and moving to India because of such beautiful infrastructure. And of course, Bharat Mandapam, which is part of the Pragati Madan premises in the central Delhi. The view of what we are looking at in terms of growth in the MICE market for India from $110 billion is projected to touch more than $180 billion in 2033, as we said, at a CAGR of 5.2%.
So if I was to just say on that slide, this is excluding weddings. So weddings is growing at 14.3% CAGR. MICE is growing at 5.2% CAGR. So just, it tells you the difference. And if you look at it, weddings is already slated to be a $200 billion market, and MICE in India is slated to be a $183 billion market. This is excluding weddings, yeah? So this is pure play MICE incentives. Of course, we need more Geo Convention Centers, we need more Yashobhumis in this country to take this to global standards.
Absolutely, I think there's still a lot of scope to grow this particular segment, particularly in a country of our size, growing at the GDP that we are growing. And then, there are other kinds of segments within mice which have really proliferated over last few years. Again, over last 2-3 years more so. I mean, we all cannot really avoid what the concert of music industry is bringing, to our part of the world. We've always been looking at, these concerts internationally, really selling out in big numbers, driving huge revenues, not just for the city, but, in many cases, a lot of countries. So it's become a concert economy for a lot of countries, and we see the trend coming into India as well. With artists like Coldplay, Ed Sheeran really performing to full houses, people traveling from countries, from different cities to participate. Our homegrown artists like Diljit Dosanjh and Ajit Singh really selling it out. And this one is going to grow from 7.8 billion at estimates to 13.4 billion by 2023. The other big piece, sub-piece of the My segment, sports, which is big. Cricket, of course, we all know that it is big in our country, and IPL has really taken it to the next level. And we see the impact at our hotels. If we talk about the hotel side of business, the huge amount of business, whether it is about players, the crew, and the other stuff related to this event that stays at the hotel, and therefore there's multiplier effect in that particular market. Apart from cricket, we see a lot of homegrown Indian sports like kabaddi also really coming up. And again, I mean, these are really greatly benefiting travel industry. It's benefiting hotel industry for sure. We at Radisson Hotel are really focusing on some niche sports. You would have seen us partnering on our loyalty front, Radisson Rewards, with Bangalore Football Club. That's an initiative that Nikhil took, I think, late last year, and we've been partnering with them, which has been really a great success.
I just want to say the Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad and the difference it's made to that city in occupancy. Ahmedabad, for hotel market, just that stadium coming in and the events that had happened, whether or anything else, that city commands for premium rooms up to 1 lakh and upwards on peak dates. So you can see the difference just by one stadium coming into a here to grow. So very, very clear call out for MICE, how you will see sports growing in this country exponentially.
Infrastructure is critical. I think we are heading in the right direction. Lastly, government initiatives. Of course, we have heard about WED in India. So good to see government. I think we've seen NEET in India. There's a lot of push in supporting sports also in the country with almost 4,000 crores in the financial year 2025-26. Khelo India program that the government has launched, and of course, hopefully, fingers crossed, with the real active participation of the family that owns this convention center, we are looking at hopefully having Olympics in the country 2020, 2026.
We bid for Commonwealth Games. Officially, the government has confirmed that we bid for the Commonwealth Games. As and when that happens, it will also pave way for the Olympics eventually, hopefully.
Super. That'll be next level. And quickly just breaking it down, the high level details that Nikhil had shared on weddings and MICE. I mean, see, particularly talking about weddings, I mean, what it does, when you have a wedding happening, at your hotel, you have like, for every bride or the groom, you have like 10 friends coming in, 50, 60 relatives coming in, 200, 300, your guests coming in. What it means is, your rooms are full, your banquets are packed, and food and drinks are really literally flowing. So it's a win-win, happy situation, huge revenues for all the hotels. So it is an extremely important segment. I mean, it's like if MICE is the staple for a hotel, it's rice. I mean, in your wedding is biryani. If MICE is bread, your weddings are really butter. That really helps your hotels optimize revenue at a high yield. So really, I mean, how do you use them to really create a package approach, have buyout offers, upsell offers for your customers to really give them the value and offer plus drive high revenues for your hotels. Just to give you an indication of how destination weddings actually are growing in our country, we see a lot of trend increasingly for people choosing to do their events at different destinations, flying out to another destination, these destinations, even if that means that they have to slightly scale down the size of the events. From 2022, we saw where it was 18% destination weddings, gone up in 2023, 21%. In 2024, it was 26%. So every year, there's a significant growth in people choosing to have destination weddings.
And this is data that does not cover the top 40 cities in the country. Right? So these are pure play new destinations in the city or in the country that are actually coming up. And you will see more and more hotels, you will see more and more logistics in more destinations in the future.
And there's a trend for tier 2, tier 3 markets also. We see a lot of weddings happening in those markets, purely also because of the kind of hotel infrastructure that hotel chains and particularly Radisson is bringing to those markets. So yeah, I mean there's trend of destination weddings that we talk about. Digital tools like Nikhil touched upon. There's a lot of benefit and we just recently we did a webinar for our hotels as to how they can really use those tools available for showcasing virtually your product to prospect buyers as to what kind of venues, what kind of spaces you have at the hotel, so that people who could not travel to your hotel for recce, or they can only travel closer to date but well in advance, are able to really see, is your hotel really fitting? Do your product really, satisfy the kind of infrastructure they need for the wedding event? So it's extremely critical. It helps you in generating more leads. It helps you in converting more leads, and therefore, again, business wins. Luxury and personalization. This is again something that it is extremely important, so that every customer, particularly on the wedding side, is looking for something really curated for them, their family, and their relatives. So you have to have that personalization, attention to detail for every wedding. Sustainability is extremely crucial. It is, even the families are now really looking at the kind of products that you're offering, services you're offering, how much you're doing towards sustainability, because they're seen to be working with only those brands and those hotels which are not leaving carbon footprints or not leaving a lot of carbon footprints after their event.
And for hotels, I must say, 6 years ago, MICE was not a segment that hotels looked at. It was low ADR. Today, weddings is the highest ADR that you get in the MICE segment. So weddings followed by MICE events within the city are really taking the ADR of those cities higher.
This is just gives you the breakdown. So the average cost of the wedding, you spoke about 30 lakhs, but at what thresholds of spend is what is the share of the recorded weddings are happening in the country? So you have about 25-30% which is happening under 40 lakhs, but above 50 lakhs you have about almost 18, close to 20% of the weddings budget in the country is upwards of 50 lakhs, 9% being above 1 crore, and this is only going to go up.
And these are official numbers, so you can imagine in a country like ours, these numbers will be far higher.
Absolutely. So this is around MICE. This is like I said. This is not just a filler. This helps you fill in your weekday demand, helps you drive your ADR, and your F&B spend as well. And it will help for hotels, for revenue managers to plan certain level of predictability of business, forecasting for the hotels, and so that for the rest of the inventory they can really plan for the next quarters and the next months ahead in the year. Again, tiered pricing, wish, won't, walk rates, etc. All the hotels who are into MICE should be ready with, so that they are able to attract business, MICE queries to the hotel, and able to really convert and enable the salespeople to really convert the business, on the table. What we spoke about is really growth opportunity in the tier 2, tier 3 markets. We see a lot of smaller weddings and MICE events now getting zonal and happening in those cities, and purely because earlier they did not have the infrastructure, so they could not really, even if they wanted, could do at those places. But now with the penetration of hotels and infrastructure connectivity in those markets, we at our hotels in tier 2, 3 markets see a really spike in weddings and MICE events in these cities. Concept we spoke about. We spoke about experiential entertainment that the Gen Z and millennials today are looking for. So that's why that's the crowd which is pulling, and that crowd of Gen Z is also really pulling the rest of the other segments, millennials and others also, towards what's happening. There are a lot of people who just go out of curiosity. There's a lot of publicity that happens inorganically or organically. When people go and attend this, these shows and put this online on different platforms, is another factor which is propelling the growth of this particular segment. We have global stars, the festivals, and we have the infrastructure. All these stadiums and spaces that we're creating are also being utilized, like the Ahmedabad Stadium, for large level concerts. And you'd think that at tier 2, tier 3 places, maybe there'll not be so much of crowd, but people are traveling all the way, booking rooms at lakhs of rupees in your high rates, 50,000, 1 lakh rupees, but still choosing to go and attend these events because they're treating this as once in a lifetime experience. Challenges, venue and infrastructure gaps, which is gradually, slowly but surely being filled, but I think we have a long way to go. There are many more opportunities in cities in India where there's scope and where there's demand, and the local population there, have that craving to, be a part of such events. So I think we can take these kind of infrastructures into other parts of the country as well. Sports, we spoke about it, it's extremely significant, and I think this is one space where you'll see a lot of, more news coming from Radisson's side. You see, here's Sunil Chetri, who's after scoring a goal with his team, has Radisson rewards on his arm, on his jersey. So we had this participation with BFC. We have a lot of partnership with kabaddi teams across different hotels. Of course, I can tell you, this is a piece of business. Mostly moves at the right time for our hotels, so really helps us fill our hotels at the time where the hotel needs them most. Of course, these come at certain expectations, dietary expectations, sort of venue expectations for teams, to practice, mats in the hall, etc. But if your hotel has the infrastructure, this is the segment that I think the hotels can really utilize, to drive that incremental revenue, particularly in valley periods and days where you need, to fill your hotel. It is, there's a lot of esports have also started. We did one recently in Delhi at one of our hotels. So yeah, and this gives you great visibility because sports and concerts really catches the imagination of the population. People who attend, people who play, they tend to really post pictures on social media. They tend to share it on their WhatsApp groups with their families. So there's a lot of marketing that you get without investing any money, right? You just either partner like a team like BFC or host the teams at your hotel, and people come and watch the match, and or they are happy to be at the hotel, click pictures with them, and there's just goes online, spreads online, and that gives you just free publicity. I think that is more valuable than paid publicity. So the benefit of it is multiplied and beyond the revenue that you get from that piece of business. Tech and partnerships is very important for you to really optimize the space of business so that your business can conduct more efficiently. You don't lose out on business opportunities and you don't lose out on revenues. CRMs and event platforms, you have to have a robust tool and systems within the company to ensure that you're tracking the business that you're getting at the hotel, you're tracking the relationship with the accounts who are potential for you, and really able to respond to them on time and manage the lead effectively to increase your conversions at the hotel. Vendor partnerships is important because if any large scale event is coming at your hotel, if it is happening at a convention, you get the rooms, but if you're a MICE hotel, there'll be a lot of events that will happen at your hotel. Partnerships, you don't have adequate AV at the hotel, plus you don't have adequate AV vendors at the hotel, then you might just end up losing even if you have the infrastructure. So it's very important that you have the support system also around the infrastructure that you have at your hotel for getting the piece of business. You might have the best convention hotel, you don't have proper AV and partnership with vendors, you will likely end up losing. Said weddings and conferences because they bring a group of people, right? So it exposes your product to multiple people at one go. And if you really deliver an experience, great experience, to those participants, they bring more business, they recommend your hotel, and they drive loyalty for your hotels. So, what's next? What you should do is, of course, productize your weddings in MICE so that you have proper, offers, buyout offers, to your customers. You have wedding brochures, you have wedding assets, so that you're able to promote your product effectively. Invest in AV, hybrid AI technologies. We spoke about expand to tier 2, tier 3 market. That's where the real business is. Now if you're looking for incremental business, fix your CRM pipelines, vendor SLAs, and of course post-event playbook. Even KPIs and feedback, it's very important for you to really keep a track of the feedbacks so that you keep on improving and incorporating the feedbacks that the customers give, so that you don't keep repeating the same mistakes and keep improving. Okay, purpose and key players. I mean, why people do, mice, of course, some Gyan, of course, I'm sure all of you know, is for, stimulation, fresh idea. An event like this, people come, they exhibit, they want to meet people so that, they can understand what each one of us are doing in terms of business, what are the business opportunities, and that really helps business grow, economy grow. Networking, getting new connects, learning new things from the market, product updates. When you do training, L&D product, L&D programs or product launches, those become the forum of really creating more education. Strategic planning, of course, when you do sales kickoffs, your annual conferences, these are strategic meetings where you plan for the rest of the year, for the next quarter or 2 quarters ahead. What are the key players? Are, of course, which drives large conferences, are associations like ITB or the other associations, or Automobile Association or Expo Associations, Pharma Associations that drive large, conferences and events across India and abroad. Corporates, we do know they do their dealers meets, vendors meets, kickoffs, sales meets, wedding planners. This is perhaps one of the most premium pieces, and a lot of hotels are now being developed really to cater to this particular market, and event planners who execute events on behalf of corporates or other buyers who are doing their events in hotels. Yeah, I think this is the last slide. What are the major factors impacting MICE tourism in India? Supporting government policy and regulations. Without that, we'll reach nowhere. So I think there's a lot of support with Meet in India, Wed in India. Infrastructure, we spoke about state of art, and we see things happening with venues like this, Yashobhumi, Bharat Mandapam, so on and so forth. Excellent connectivity. We see airports, while I'm speaking, I'm thinking that everything's moving in the right direction, but the fact is, it is. We are adding more airports in the last like 5 or 10 years than we have ever had in the past. Reasonable tourism, credentials in terms of sustainability, ethics, etc. Service sector support, of course, what we hoteliers, etc. can do, that has to be in place for the confidence of travelers to do your MICE event at the city and at the hotel. And also, extremely important, safe and secure destinations. So when you're doing large conferences, international conventions, there's a whole lot of support required from local police, from authorities to really sign it off on your document for you to go and bid for those large conferences where people from across different cities, particularly if there's an involvement of international expats coming. This is a bit of a piece that we wanted to talk about on weddings and MICE. Extremely important segment, and I hope this presentation was helpful.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's our time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for insightful sharing. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Mr. Rajesh Arya and Pranav Bansal to the stage to talk about rethinking hospitality and events in synergy and smart growth. Please welcome Mr. Rajesh Arya and Pranav Bansal to the stage.
My privilege to be here. Thanks to ITB for this wonderful show. I request ITB team, please come on the stage.
Hi, good afternoon everyone. I will request my GHP team to be present on the stage, please.